Hi, welcome to my video for beginners. In this video, we're going to have a look at how to draw the buildings you can see here in one-point perspective. Okay, here we go. I start by drawing the horizon line. I draw a straight line from the top right side of the paper to the bottom left side. You can also draw the horizon line this way, or this way. It's really up to you. Just remember that you'll get different effects with each one. Some of you might ask, shouldn't the horizon line be drawn parallel to the top and bottom edges of the paper? Yeah, that's right. But there's something else about this drawing. Let me explain. For instance, there is a street you want to take a photo of. The horizon line on this street is like this, right? If I take the photo like this, as you can see, there is no problem. But when I take the photo like this, do you see the difference? So, we're going to draw the buildings as you see them on the screen. Well, and this is the vanishing point we'll use for the drawing. It should be just on the horizon line. Okay, let's draw the first building. I draw a line parallel to the horizon line. Then I draw a straight line starting from the vanishing point and passing through the right end point of the line. I draw a straight line on the other side in the same way too. Okay, now the next building. Once more, I draw a straight line parallel to the horizon line. The rest of the steps are exactly the same. You can draw the line at the top of the building as long as you want. Good. Now I'm going to draw the side of the building. There's a small detail here that's important. Please watch carefully. Did you notice? Okay, let me explain. The line along the side of the building should be at a right angle to the horizon line. Let's keep going. The next building. I follow the same steps as I did for the previous buildings. I will draw the buildings along the street like this. How many buildings will be drawn or how wide and tall they will be is up to you. You can easily draw all of them using the technique I just showed you. If you're struggling to draw straight lines, try using a ruler to help you. This drawing requires many straight lines. Therefore, if you are not good at this, stop torturing yourself and use a ruler. Because in this kind of drawing, I mean drawing many lines side by side and in a complicated way, the eye is often misled. Mistakes can happen, and they might lead to disappointment. After all, using a ruler does not prevent you from learning perspective. This kind of study is very useful for developing one-point perspective. You have to use the vanishing point many times throughout the drawing. So, it helps you understand how important the vanishing point and the horizon line are in drawings. Moreover, it allows you to see clearly when you make a mistake with perspective. You don't need anyone else's help to figure out what your mistake is. Okay, enjoy the drawing. I'll be back in a moment. Well, I'm back. The buildings are ready. They all look like cardboard boxes now, right? Okay, so let's make them look like real buildings. For that, we need to add windows. First, I will draw something like a frame on this building, and then I will draw the windows inside the frame. When I'm drawing the frame, I use the vanishing point. Well, now I'm going to divide this frame into pieces like a chessboard. First, I draw vertical lines. Don't forget to use the vanishing point while drawing these lines. Let's make these lines a little bit wider. It would be good for you to use the vanishing point in this process. You should make them look narrower at the top and wider at the bottom. Now I'm going to divide the frame horizontally. How many pieces you divide it into is up to you. Try to draw the lines parallel to the horizon line. A rule of perspective comes into play here. As things move away from us, they get smaller. So the distance between the lines should increase from the top of the building down to the bottom. The first building is done. Now it's time for the next one. I will just do a frame again and add the windows. You are free to do whatever you like about the number, height, width, or shape of the windows in the buildings. You can use your imagination or look at some photos of buildings on the internet. I will try to draw horizontal lines as parallel to the horizon line as possible. Unfortunately, it is not that easy. Sometimes the eyes can deceive us. I will try my best. Try to draw vertical lines along the side of the building at right angles to the horizon line. Okay, next one. We need to add windows like this to all the buildings on the street. I know it takes time. I hope you don't get bored. I will try to do it as quickly as possible. By now, I think you have a good idea of how to draw buildings in perspective. The rules are very simple. When you are drawing the buildings, draw the vertical lines starting from the vanishing point. On the front of the buildings, draw the horizontal lines of the buildings parallel to the horizon line. On the sides of the buildings, you need to draw the lines at right angles to the horizon line. Increase the distance between these lines as you move downwards. Try to keep your lines soft and light when you're drawing. If you make a mistake, you can fix it easily. Give your lines the darkness they deserve at the end of your drawing. We are nearly finished with this side of the street. A few lines and it will be done. Okay, great. Now I'm going to add a little bit of depth to the buildings. To achieve this, I'm going to apply shading to the frame lines of the buildings. This will add both realism and depth to the buildings. It's a small but very important detail. Do not shade every line. Just shade the lines where you would expect to see thickness. Just keep an eye on me and I'm sure you'll get what I mean. The shading of the vertical lines should get thicker from far to near. Okay, we have finished the buildings on this side of the street. Now it's time for the other buildings. I follow the same rules for these buildings as I did for the previous ones. No more, no less. Just remember the rules I mentioned earlier. Vertical lines should start from the vanishing point. Horizontal lines should be parallel to the horizon line, and some lines should be drawn at a right angle to the horizon line. When you're drawing windows, Do not forget to increase the distance between the horizontal lines from the top to the bottom of the building. If you stick to these simple rules, you can easily draw hundreds of buildings side by side without any problem. Moreover, when you finish this drawing, you will have a ton of experience in one-point perspective. This experience will help you to create wonders in all kinds of artistic works. Working with perspective is really enjoyable, and it's not that difficult to get the hang of either. You can only improve your skill in perspective by practicing it. So it's a good idea to practice your artistic skills in perspective. Your work doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes just scribbling is enough to get your head around how perspective works. You can work on perspective whenever you find the time. I've got a bunch of videos on my channel about perspective. I suggest taking a look at them when you have a chance. I think they will be useful for you. Since you are a beginner, you do not need to use expensive pencils or paper for this kind of exercise. An ordinary pencil or paper will do the job, but always use a quality eraser. Don't waste your money. As you improve yourself, you will start to make more professional and eye-catching works. When that day comes, the quality of the pencil and paper or other materials you use will matter. Using poor quality materials can make things a bit tricky, and you might not get the results you expected. I suggest using 2B or 3B soft pencils at the start of your drawings. These pencils let you erase and correct mistakes easily. Use 4B and 5B soft pencils for the dark or shadowy parts of your drawing. You can also use 0.5B pencils for small details and sharp parts. Okay, enjoy the drawing. I'll be back in a moment. Well, I'm back. Alright, so I've got the perspective part sorted. The next step is to add more detail and realism. I'll go ahead and add the detail, lighting and shading to the drawing now. I'm speeding up the video here. As this video is about perspective, I'm not going to go into loads of detail about lighting and shading. Shading is a whole other thing with its own rules and tips. Just to give you an idea about it, I will show you quickly. Start shading with soft light touches. Darken your lines as you go through the shading. Basically, it's best to go from light to dark and soft to hard. And that's it. It looks great, huh? What do you think? Thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you liked it. See you later. Bye.